And it wasn't until after I'd seen and read that I'd actually taken a look at the tutorial video that I'd shot so far until I realized that when I showed the part where I'm on the view grid and highlighting a link, I actually had that off the bottom of my view. Sorry, I didn't capture that. So I'm going to reshoot that part. Let's just grab the priest default grid. If you scroll way to the bottom here, this little yellow URL down here, this will take you directly to the priest default talent grid. When you create a talent grid and you've saved it, then you go into view mode to preview it. You can highlight this yellow URL at the bottom, copy it, and it doesn't matter where you go elsewhere from here. You can load the Mage talent grid up, you can load just about anything else up, and if you want to go back, you go to the address bar up here, paste it in there, grid ID 4002, hit enter, and it'll take you straight back to the priest talent grid. So yeah, you can copy this into a forum and that'll link straight to here. Now I don't know if what I was trying to say, but you couldn't see it, was when you paste that link up here and press enter, it doesn't take you to Talent Grid Maker the action equals view and grid ID equals 4002. It jumps straight to viewgrid.jsp. Now it's okay that the URL doesn't stay the way you see it. The application will know exactly what you're trying to tell it to do, and it'll go straight to the it'll go straight to the grid whose ID you specified. So don't worry about it changing like that. It's not a problem. Also, I've added donate buttons to the bottom here. You don't have to click it unless you really want to. So yeah. So I'll just write in the tier 1 comment here some slowing options. Now, it's probably a given that monks have some form of interrupt, but even though I know that they should have that as a basic ability, I'm just going to put a few interrupt options in here. I grouped a whole bunch of different weapons together, maces, hammers, and actually totems and relics are in here too. And there's this one old school shaman totem. It looks like a fist. Here's a good one. Sometimes you really got to look around and know where to look to find the really good icons, but here's one. I'm just going to say interrupts the target and prevents casting in that school for 8 seconds. Usually it's 4, but this is something of a super interrupt. That's one way of going about it. Another way of going about it might be some sort of AoE. I know that Breath of Fire was not originally an AoE ability, but I'm just going to pretend that it was. So I'm going under the Druid icons. They've got 3 different roars. There's a sort of a brown one, a blue one, and a red one. I'll grab the red one. Call this Breath of Fire. Let's see, deals fire damage in an area, interrupts casting for 4 seconds. In reality, this is probably going to be one of the basic Brewmaster abilities. But anyway, let's see. What's another good one? There's the AoE, there's the single target super one. I guess silence would be the next best thing. Probably another bottle is good for that. Let's take a look under profession items. Here there's a lot of different things. There's a lot of bottles to choose from. I didn't grab every single bottle that there was in the game, but there's a lot of stuff here. There's probably enough to choose from if you're trying to figure out a Brewmaster spec. Let's go with this one. Let's see, Addle Brew, let's call it that. Let's see, soaks a target area in alcohol, silencing casters in that area. So yeah, I think that's probably enough. I'm going to put in the comments here, just playing around with MoP talents. No link yet. And I click Save this as a new talent grid. I don't have the delete this talent grid or save changes yet because it doesn't have its own grid ID. Anyways, it doesn't exist yet. When I click this, it will exist, and then, yep, here we go. These two buttons show up. And let's say that I didn't like the name Adelbrew. I actually do. Let's say that I don't like the name Drunken Haze. Let's call it Haze Brew instead. Click Apply. It hasn't actually saved any changes yet. So if I go to Browse Talent Grids, actually it tends to hang on to the changes that you make as long as it can. If you click on Create New Talent Grid, then it'll blow away whatever changes you've got. But if I click here on Default Warlock Grid, then here we go. It's got all these default Warlock talents. Archimonde's Vengeance, Manoros Fury, Burning Rush. Actually, all three of these are icons taken from the Deathwing fight. It's just an interesting little nerd fact. If I go back to the browse screen and then click Monk, by the way, I chose dark teal as the monk's color. It seemed like a logical choice. It was distinct enough from the three surrounding colors to not get confused with it. It's too dark to be a hunter or a mage, and it's too dull to be shaman. So Blizzard could easily change that. Now it went back to Drunken Haze. So copy edit this talent grid so I can make changes to it. Drunken Haze, Haze Brew. Apply, save the change. And now, if I go elsewhere, see the default Druid talent grid. I'm a little bit surprised that they didn't put Solar Beam in this, but I digress. Go back to Browse, MoP Talent Grid. There it is, Haze Brew. So yeah, that's basically how this whole thing works. I'm hoping that its very existence will help people comment on what Blizzard's talent grids are like, what problems there are with them, what solutions there might be, that sort of thing. I'm hoping that this stimulates the creative process, and so yeah, go to town with it, folks.